At last, the iPhone 3G and the accompanying iPhone 2.0 software are available now. And it may be the hardware, the iPhone 3G, that promises 3G data connections on the AT&T network and GPS connectivity that is attracting throngs of people to AT&T and Apple stores nationwide. But what's really interesting about the new release, particularly for enterprise customers, is the iPhone 2.0 software. I'm here today to walk you through some of the more interesting and enterprise-friendly features of the iPhone. One of the biggest improvements for the new iPhone is the management software that Apple has released. Apple has released both a web-based platform for Windows and Mac systems, and also a standalone application, but that's only available on Macintoshes. Through this utility, and I've tried the web utility so far, you can do things, you can set policies such as passcodes required for the devices. You can determine the complexity of the passcode, the length, and how many attempts before the device locks out. You can set up VPN profiles. One of the new features of the iPhone software is a new integration with Cisco VPNs. So using the profile, you can set up your Cisco VPN account login information for the clients and disperse them to iPhones everywhere. You can also set up the new Exchange Activsync connections, so you can get the iPhone talking to your Exchange system. You can configure that right through the profiles. You can also do other things like setting up wireless networks. Another new feature that enterprises would be interested in is going to be the new wireless security features. The 1.0 versions of the iPhone software only supported WPA or WPA2 PSK security, pre-shared key, whereas the new version supports certificates and enterprise-grade certificate security. So you can use any of the EAP flavors that are standardly supported now, be it certificate-based TLS, TTLS, or PEEP, or EAP Fast. Once you get these profiles created in either the web-based or the Mac-based system, you can download them to iPhones. This can be done a couple ways. You can instruct the users to go to a web page and download it themselves, or you can email it to them so they can install it. One of the drawbacks of this system is there is no configuration push to the iPhone right now. There will be a certain amount of user interaction that is required to be able to install the profile. As we see here, we can go into an email account where I've already emailed a profile to. Just by clicking on it, we can go in and install the profile. It will give you a little bit of information as to give the user a little bit of information as to what's going to be done to their system, and then it will install all the different elements of the policy. When the policy is installed, there are certain fields that the user will need to input themselves, things like their email password, their VPN password, and the wireless security password if you're using pre-shared keys. Those informations will not be included in the profile themselves. The users have to put them in, so there will need to be a certain level of instructions provided to the end user. Some of this information, like the VPN group key or your wireless pre-shared key, you may not want to share, so there could be some complications in getting that working. Some administrator action may be required on the end user device at this time. Now, of course, all these features can be configured directly onto the iPhone itself for individual consumer users or for IT administrators who just want to configure it before sending it out to users. For instance, here in the VPN setup, you can go in and set it up either using the group name and group password that Cisco supports or using certificates. You will notice, however, that you cannot import in PCF files. So if you're using the typical ways of deploying Cisco VPNs, the iPhone does not support that. You will actually have to hand enter this information in. For the wireless networking, you'll see here that all the different types of security that I mentioned earlier are supported. and that you can connect both to pre-shared key and certificate-based networks. One of the new features that I really like is a small thing, but for people who have a lot of contacts will be a huge benefit, is contact search. Up at the top of the contact list now, and there's a new icon on the desktop directly to the contact list. That also is nice. But on top of the list is a search box, so you can just start punching in the names of anybody in your contact list, either first or last, and it will pull it up directly. It's not a huge feature, but it's a big improvement over the last generation of iPhone. One of the biggest improvements, of course, is the new integration with Exchange and Activsync. Now, just like Windows Mobile's devices, you can have much tighter synchronicity with your Exchange environment. The Exchange server can directly push information to your device now, so it's not depending on you manually pulling down email or having a fetch on a certain schedule, so it can be pushed down to you directly. You can also now pull down your Outlook calendar and contact list and integrate those in, which is a huge benefit, because in the previous version of iPhone, you had to get that information through iTunes, which worked with Outlook, which was kind of a pain. But now you can do it directly. However, you cannot integrate multiple calendars, so if you decide to do the Exchange route for your calendar and contact, that will be your only source of calendar and contact information on the new version of iPhone. One of the other advantages of the Exchange integration is taking advantage of some of the Exchange management features, such as remote wipe. Apple has touted this feature, but really it's more of a Microsoft capability than an Apple capability. Apple just supports it now. So you can use your Exchange management tools to perform a remote wipe on your phone. The last and probably biggest benefit of the iPhone 2.0 software, of course, is the application store, the Apple App Store. They've opened it up, so many third-party developers now are delivering scores of applications that are available through the App Store, and also release an SDK so developers at large companies can create their own custom applications as well. A particular note for businesses in the App Store right now, there are certain applications from Salesforce and Oracle that may be of immediate interest, but the possibility of being able to do in-house development is probably the most attractive for many companies. This is Andrew Garcia, Senior Technical Analyst with eWeek Labs and eWeek.com. Thank you for watching.